Hey you guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back for those of you who are returning. Today I'm going to show you step by step how I created this short 4C hair look using acrylic paint. So here are the things you're going to need. A wet palette, a dry palette, a flat brush sizes 4 or 6, and a number 2 round brush. I'm going to begin by adding her edges. Using a flat brush and my Stay Wet palette, I'm mixing together burnt sienna and ultramarine blue to create a deep brown. It's important to use a wet palette, or if you don't have one, at least dilute the paint with a little water because you want this layer to be a bit translucent. Before you start, do a few test strokes on your palette to make sure the paint is not too pigmented. As you add the edges, be sure to switch up your brush strokes so that they're going in different directions. Here, I'm going from center to edge to center, adding diagonal lines from top to bottom and bottom to top. I'm also adding a combination of swoop strokes and straight strokes. Remember, no one's hair grows in a straight line, so for a more natural effect, just be random with it and have fun. I want the edges on the shadowy side of her head to be a little more defined, so I'm switching to my dry palette in order to have a more pigmented look. As you can see, her hair is tapered at the side. To achieve this look, I'm going to use my Stay Wet palette to fill in the side of her head, using the same deep brown that I used for her edges. I'm adding a line where her part will be in order to help guide me. 4C hair is very textured. So in order to get that textured effect, I'm dabbing the tip of my brush onto the canvas. Make sure to pay special attention to where the hair meets the background of the painting in order to emphasize the texture of the hair. Now I'm just fanning out her edges in order to make the hairline look a bit more realistic. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side of her head. Switching to my dry palette, I'm going to grab the same deep brown color and add a second layer. So I've realized that the key to creating a 4C hair look is just layers, layers, and more layers. But you'll see what I mean soon. As I deposit the paint, I'm rotating the brush back and forth to help add to the textured effect. Now I'm going to begin adding the rest of her hair. Note that I'm beginning to shape out her fro as I go along. Also, I'm continuing to rotate the brush as I dab on the paint. I'm going to continue to do this as I go around the top of her head. Using my Stay Wet palette, I'm going to add another layer of diluted paints in order to fill in the gaps. I'm also blending the edges into the rest of the hair. Now it's time to add some highlights. I added a small amount of white paint to help lighten my deep brown mixture. Now I'm going to use the same dabbing technique to add that as a highlight layer. The difference between the two colors is very slight, but it does help in adding definition to the hair. I'm paying special attention to the top of her head, especially on the lighter side of her face, to give the impression that this is where the sun is touching her hair. And now I'm adding the highlight color to random spots throughout her hair. I'm mainly just trying to fill in the gaps. For the next layer, I'm going to darken my original brown color. You can do this by adding Prussian blue or a small amount of black. This layer will be applied to the side of her head where there is more shadow. I'm going to continue to add small amounts of the darker layer sporadically throughout the rest of her head. Adding different color layers helps to add more depth and texture to the look of the hair. Switching to my number 2 round brush, I'm going to begin adding the final details. Using my original brown color, I'm going to start adding curls throughout her hair. 4C hair is very unique. It tends to have a wide array of curl patterns, the strands grow in different directions, it pretty much does whatever it wants to. With that being said, have fun with this part. You can do zigzag curls, circular curls, or a combination of both. Just be random with it as you spread it throughout the hair. But whatever you do not be uniform. Uniform is boring, and 4C hair is not boring. It is wild and it is fun, and you should have fun painting it. Also, as you're adding a curl detail, do pay special attention to where the hair ends and the background begins. And this is the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you tried this technique on your own, please don't forget to tag my Instagram. I would love to see it. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.